Hello, Capricorns, and welcome to this, your December 1st through December 15th reading and predictions. For those of you who are new here, thank you so much for clicking and joining. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Last reading that I did for you, November 15th through November 30th, it looked as though there was a new enterprise, something new coming up for you, but your penchant for immediate gratification was not going to be granted last month. So let's take a look, see where you're at with regards to your manifestations, and see if maybe that gratification is coming your way this month. We're going to start off with pulling some cards for where you are at now, Capricorn. Also, for those of you who are new here, I do not edit my videos. What you see is what you get. My camera may shake as it just did. I do live in an RV with my son, and we travel around, and we travel with a very fat cat. And when she jumps around in here, it makes the whole RV shake, rattle, and roll, which means that my camera moves around as well. So you may see me stumble over my words. You may see me flip cards out and have to pick them up off the floor. And as I mentioned, my camera may glitch. It is what it is. It's authenticity at its best. All right. We're looking for cards for where the Capricorns are at now. There we go. Just hadn't got to them yet. Let's see what's come up. Oh, there's quite a number of them here. Okay. So we have 5 cards that have come out for you, Capricorn, for where you're at now. So this may seem like it's a little bit overwhelming, but let's get started. The first card that we have for you is the conditioning card. Now this card corresponds to the number 15 card from the major arcana of the tarot, which is of course the Devil card. And what does the devil do? The devil brings out the worst in us. The devil has conditioned us to respond to certain things in certain ways. And so this is asking us to take a look at our automatic responses to things and explore that at this time, Capricorn, and make sure that we are not just automatically reacting to things based on our conditioning. Okay, so there are a lot of things that are going on in the world right now that are triggering many of us. But rather than just being triggered at this time, Capricorn, this card, the Devil card, the conditioning card, is asking you to look at your circumstances, look at the situation that triggered you, and explore it deeply and find out why. Why did hearing that certain thing on YouTube or Facebook, or why did that trigger you to then have a reaction that was almost involuntary on your part? Take a good look at that. Why? Well, you've got 2 2s here that have come into your reading. You've got the 2 of Swords and the 2 of Cups coming in. And whenever we have a 2 come up in the tarot, it's always about a decision or a choice that you need to make. Now, the 2 of Swords is about needing to make a decision from a very logical mental headspace. The 2 of Cups is about needing to make a decision from a very heartfelt emotional place. This, to me, the fact that you've got 2 2s means that there's a duality and a decision coming in for you, Capricorn. But as well, the fact that you've got the 2 of Swords right next to the 2 of Cups is indicating that this decision that you need to make at this time, you're having a very difficult time deciding even whether you should be making this decision from your heart or from your mind. Is the decision a very logical, unemotional, mental headspace type decision? Or is the decision that you need to make one from the heart? and it's pulling on your heartstrings. Unfortunately, this is causing you to feel like you are balancing between two precipices, and you have to make this decision. So I'm just going to get into this card a little bit. If you notice up on the top of this card, there is a character, and the character is holding on to two cliffs. He's holding on by his fingernails over here, and he's holding on by his toenails over here. And it's a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you let go with your fingernails, you're going to be left dangling by your toenails. If you let go by your toenails, you're going to be left dangling by your fingernails. So what do you have to do? This card, the depiction on this card is you have to take a blind leap of faith. You have to let go with both your fingers and your toenails at the same time and allow whatever will be to happen. Now, in the traditional tarot, the card has the exact same meaning, although it has a different visual depiction on it, Capricorn, but it's the same meaning. It's about making a decision on blind faith. Two of Cups, on the other hand, is about making a decision from the place of the heart and taking into account the feelings and emotions, not only that you're experiencing, but the feelings and emotions of others around you that they will experience based upon your choice. Everything here is saying you have a decision to make. You are being called upon to explore deeply your conditioning and why you've made choices a certain way in the past. You're being called upon to make a decision based on both blind faith as well as taking into account the emotions of others. What is that causing in you? Sorrow. This card corresponds to the Nine of Swords from the traditional tarot. And the Nine of Swords is the card that sometimes I call the catastrophism card. It is the card of waking up in the middle of the night thinking of the worst case scenario. And it's not uncommon to see this card come up when there are two twos somewhere in a reading. It is really not, because especially if we have the Two of Swords and the Two of Cups here, where you're being called upon to make a decision from both a mental, logical space as well as a heart, emotional space. So where you're at now, Capricorn, is this place of deeply exploring your conditioning, needing to make a really important decision while taking so many different factors into play, and it's keeping you awake at night. But what will the outcome of this be as we move further into December? The Ace of Pentacles, maturity and new beginnings. The Ace of Pentacles is about new beginnings, particularly with regards to money, finances, job, career. And this is a card, as it says on the bottom, that involves maturity. It involves having come through something like this that we just went through and coming out the other side with the knowledge and know-how and wherewithal and the maturity to be able to make a well-informed decision. So that's really, really positive for you, Capricorn. I'm really, really happy and pleased with the direction that the cards are taking us for you. Let's take a look at what you are focusing on moving into December. Where are you placing your attentions? Because that's going to help to guide you. Okay. We got a lot of cards that just fell out of the deck. And still more to shuffle through. Okay. Let's take these cards because there's quite a number of them. And we're going to mix up this smaller portion of the deck for you. All right. What are the Capricorns focusing on for? All right. So they are even at the moment. Yeah. All right. focusing on? Okay. Focusing on detachment. Yeah, given the first few cards that came out for you and the decision that you need to make, Capricorn, it's not surprising that you are focusing a little bit on detachment, but that's not going to last for very long because you'll be moving right into focusing on diversity, and you'll be moving into focusing on purification with the Sage. This card, in addition to the snake from this particular deck, are about leaving the past behind. And so the snake is specifically about just leaving the past behind. Um, the snake, of course, sheds its skin and just leaves it willy-nilly wherever it may lay. And that's the end. The Sage, on the other hand, is about a purification. It is about leaving the past behind with a very conscious, well-informed decision. It is about making sure that there aren't any loose ends when you leave the past behind, Capricorn. It is about purifying the past and making sure that you've cleaned everything up, you've dotted all of your I's, crossed all your T's, and you can then move forward with a clarity of mind. What is challenging you at this time? Where are we going? All right, we're going to go over here to this deck. So, challenges and difficult influences for Capricorn. I'm going to get a little bit deeper into these three cards of what you're focusing on in just a moment here, Capricorn. But let's get this next card out for you, or cards, if there's more than one. Okay. There's two cards here, and I have not looked at them yet. I'm going to leave them sitting face down for just a moment. So, Capricorn, last month there was this new beginning for you, which is great. But there was also a sense of you're not going to get instant gratification. And then you came into this reading with a decision that you need to make that was going to move you into greater clarity and new beginnings. I believe that the island, this detachment card, is where you're ultimately going to have to make that decision from. The decision is so involved with the devil coming out, the sorrow card coming out, the two twos, and the two twos in particular coming out together, being the swords and the cups together. This decision is going to eventually have to be made from a place of detachment. I want to say that for many of you, the decision that you need to make is specifically related to your career and to the way in which you have money coming into you. And there's a belief system with this Sage and purification. There's a belief system coming into you that you are somehow solely responsible for other people and their lives and their decisions. And when you can get clarity around that, Capricorn, around who's actually responsible for what, is going to bring you that maturity and clarity that you're looking for making this decision. Now, you also have the diversity card here, and I believe that's because there is an opening up or an awakening type of thing happening with you with regards to who is responsible for what. That's what this decision is about. Okay. There are certain belief systems that you hold in your mind and in your heart about who is responsible for what. Who's responsible for providing is the message that I'm getting. And when you have clarity on that, it's about accountability. There's the word. Capricorn, you have taken on some responsibilities that really you're coming to the realization and the awakening that perhaps those are not your responsibilities, but you've taken them as yours. And you're looking around at the diversity around you and looking at other people's situations that are somewhat similar, and you're going, wait a minute, this isn't resonating. And that's a belief system that you're going to have to purify within yourself. You're going to have to clarify it and then purify it and release some aspect of belief systems that you've picked up in order to be able to move forward. And I do want to say that what I'm picking up, and again, this is a general reading, so it will not resonate for everyone, but for a fair number of you Capricorns out there, it has to do with providing for others, whether that be over helping, whether that be financially supporting others, whatever the case may be. There is something that you are providing to others and you're questioning that at this time. You're questioning, you've provided for those others based on your conditioning. And very recently, you began to question that. And that's where this decision is coming in, where it's both emotional as well as logical. It's keeping you awake at night. And eventually, and that came up because of this diversity that came in. And eventually you're going to have to make that decision from a very detached place. Let's look at what's challenging you. Follow the voice of your soul is one of your challenges at this time. And the other one is trusting in the unknown. That resonates with what I was just saying. And that also resonates with this card here of needing to make a decision from blind faith. Needing to just let go with both the fingernails and the toenails and allow the chips to fall as they may. Trust in the unknown and follow the voice of your soul. You have to follow what's right for you. And that's what this conditioning is about as well, right? We look at our conditioning, sometimes we dig deep and we go, wait a minute, I was always taught that this was right and that was wrong. But why? I was always taught that things had to be this way, but that no longer resonates for me. And these are big concepts and big decisions for you, Capricorn. But these two cards coming up in your difficult influences are telling me exactly what it is that you are bumping into with regards to making this decision and this choice. And that is, when you follow the voice of your soul and you trust in the unknown, rather than going back into what you have been conditioned to believe, that's where your magic happens. And I do believe that once you have the opportunity to make this decision, be firm in your decision, not waffle back and forth on it, you're going to notice a very large shift. And it is a very mature thing to do. But you are going to have to trust in the unknown, and you have to dig deep into your heart. The card I'm now looking to pull for you is messages that the universe wants you to hear at this time. I am laughing. All right, I did mention something over here about accountability with regards to the decision that you need to make. You have been taking responsibility for somebody. You've been taking on responsibility for someone else and you're questioning that. And so there is this accountability factor that is coming in, and you got a reminder of that, Capricorn. Take responsibility for your actions, but this card is a two-way street, Capricorn. Never forget that when you hear certain advice, you also have the ability to share that advice with others. And that is that everyone needs to take responsibility for their actions. There has to be accountability. And if you are providing for somebody who is living in a state of blame, that it's your fault that they're in this situation, or it's so-and-so's fault that they're in this certain situation, and oh, woe is me, and oh, help me. If you are dealing with someone like that right now, Capricorn, take responsibility for your actions and have them begin to take responsibility for their actions. And I do believe that this is part of your path and your journey right now, and part of the conditioning that you've had. And you're going to have to purify that belief. You're going to have to come to terms with a certain belief system with regards to providing for others. I'm not saying that providing for others is a bad thing. Not at all. Unless, of course, it reaches the degree where you no longer feel like there's a reciprocal agreement there. We're going to look at what is unexpected for you. Unexpected, Capricorn. There's so far only one card that's come out. It came out early on in the shuffle, and there's another one. Okay. All right, let's look at them one at a time. So, Capricorn, you have the Tower in your unexpected. What other card do you have in your unexpected? Two of Pentacles, your third two in this reading. All right, let me just adjust how I'm sitting here before I get into explaining the Tower to you, Capricorn. We started off with you having a decision to make, and the decision is because you are beginning to question your conditioning. You're beginning to question why you're doing the things that you're doing. Are you doing them straight out of the conditioning that you've received, or are you doing them from a genuine place of your heart and mind? Okay. You will ultimately, before you make this decision, need to come to a place of detachment, and you do need to let go of some and purify some past beliefs. You have to trust in the unknown in order to be able to get through this. And then you get the Tower. And the Tower is about a sudden and unexpected change happening in your life that you don't see coming. For a lot of people, it blindsides them. Is it all bad? No, absolutely not. But it's usually a little bit shocking to the system. And the reason that Tower moments happen to us is because the universe has been trying to get a hold of us for a while. There have been signs that have been sent saying, you need to make a change. And then another, you need to make a change. And you need to make a choice. You need to make a decision. And each time that the universe is sending you those messages over and over, you need to make a choice. And it's getting louder. You need to make a choice. Hey, over here, make a decision. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice, Capricorn. And eventually, if you choose not to decide, the universe throws you a Tower. And the Tower moment is when you sit up and you pay attention. and you go, okay, now I'm listening. Oops. All of this is saying you can avoid this tower moment near the middle of December if you make these decisions. And you have another two here. This time it's the Two of Pentacles. Now the Two of Pentacles is a card that corresponds to finances and job. And it's about a decision that's going to be, this decision following the tower moment is going to come down to you making the decision based on money. That's that. Let's look at your outcome. Let's look at where the cards are predicting that you are going to be and what's going to be going on for you come the middle of December. Okay, we've got 3 cards out, 4 cards out, 5 cards out. All right, well, we might be mixing these cards up depending on if there's any more that come out. 5 is kind of the limit. We did start off your reading with 5 cards. So we're going to end your reading with 5 cards. 5? 4? I don't know. Okay. Nope. 5. That one, then this one, and this one. Okay. First card in your reading for general overall outcome. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Okay. All right. First reading in your general overall outcome is the 8 of Autumn. This card corresponds to the 8 of Pentacles. This is a card of ask for advice, ask for guidance, perhaps seek out a seminar or training seminar, education of some kind in order to make sure that you have all of the information that you need to make your decision. You do have a repeat card here in that you have the 9 of Swords that came out in your first 5 cards, and you have the 9 of Winter. This card corresponds to the 9 of Swords. Remember what I said, this is the card of lying awake in bed at night worrying. Moving through your final general overall outcome, you have the 3 of Spring coming in. 3 of Spring is the card that calls upon you to have some patience. It's the card of planning. It's the card of, okay, I know what needs to be done. I need to break it down into smaller pieces and do the small pieces one by one by one by one by one so that I can get things done. You have the 10 of Autumn, also the 10 of Pentacles, and this is the card of make sure that you're planning for the future. Now, remember what I said. You have this choice, this decision to make. It's because you feel like you're providing for someone perhaps, and it's not mutual, and something is not balanced there. And if you choose not to decide, then you're going to get thrown into this tower moment, and you're going to have to make the decision anyway, and you're going to have to make the decision based on money and finances rather than making the decision based on either logic or following your heart center. The 10 of Autumn is a card of prepare for the future. Make sure that you have your 401k or RRSP or whatever protected and in a good place. Make sure that you are just very familiar with your money and finances at this time. And I want to point out that the 8 of Autumn coming out with the 10 of Autumn is an indication that, you know, don't just barrel ahead with your money. Make sure that you're well informed. Seek proper professional financial advice. I'm not giving you professional financial advice because I am not qualified to do so. I am giving you general advice regarding your finances, and that general advice is to make sure that you are seeking out the professionals who can educate you, provide you with some seminars or something so that your money and finances are well protected at this time. And the final card in your reading, Capricorn, is the Hermit. And the Hermit has two meanings.